Hi, everybody. I've been dealing with the after effects of from the treatment of stage 4 anal cancer since December of 2019. And I was originally diagnosed, and I'll be happy to say my last scans in October showed that I'm cancer-free. So currently I'm free of that, but I've had terrible pain in my belly. So I was originally diagnosed in January of 2017. And after receiving that diagnosis, which I was completely shocked because I always took care of myself, I tried to do the healing naturally and not do the chemo and the radiation. And I did a lot of natural things, high dose infusions of vitamin C and several other things. And so then I went for follow-up scans and it showed that the cancer was still spreading to more lymph nodes. So I ended up in December of 2017, I ended up having to get chemotherapy. And because I had cleaned my body out so well, right away, I had severe mouth sores and I started getting ringing in my ears. And so my oncologist, after the second treatment, said, I don't want you to lose any more weight because of the mouth sores, because I couldn't eat. She didn't want me to lose my hearing because the ringing in my ears was a sign that the next step was I would lose my hearing from one of the other chemotherapies I was receiving. So we stopped that. She did another scan so we could decide what protocol we wanted to go with. There was no sign of cancer. So we didn't do another treatment. So I'm living life, feeling good. I go back for a follow-up scan. Well, first I started having some pain in my lower belly in April of 2019. So I went for a scan and they found tumors in my rectum and then back in the original anal canal spot. Total devastation. The treatment here, they wanted to take out my rectum down and give me a colostomy bag for the rest of my life. So I went and got another opinion at another hospital in Phoenix. And I ended up getting more chemo. This was in November of 2019. I ended up getting 2 more rounds of chemotherapy, also some immunotherapy, and 30 rounds of proton radiation, which proton radiation is different than photon radiation. Proton is the radiation is directed right at the tumors. So it targets the tumor instead of doing damage to all of your other areas of your body. And they usually don't use that for my type of cancer, but my oncologist fought for that for me and the insurance did end up paying for it. And after that, I was cancer-free, but I had the same terrible pain in my lower abdomen. It was just right below my belly button to the left. And my oncologist said that could have been from the tumors, or it could have been from the cancer treatments, or it was both, which probably was both. And he said, that's just your new normal. And I said, okay, well, not that I want that, but I'm alive.
So let me just ask you, when he said that your new normal, he was telling you like, this is what your life is going to be like, just get used to it. Is that kind of how he talked to you about that?
Yes. And he said, but hey, you're alive. You had a serious disease, a serious illness, but you're still alive and you're here for your kids. So be happy you still have that pain, basically. And probably at the worst, the pain was a 6 to 7. And that would always happen when I needed to use the bathroom. And I don't mean using the bathroom as a number 1. It was the number 2 bathroom. But daily, the pain was a 2 to 3 every day. And then, of course, when things would move into that area to use the bathroom, it became a little more intense. But I was here. I was alive. And so and he's told me if that pain gets worse, that might mean the cancer came back. So please notify us right away because we need to get you in here and get you checked. And it always just stayed the same. I was going every 6 months for my follow-up scans and appointments. And so this last October, I was due to go at the end of the month. And a dear colleague of mine, Mary Smith, had just retired. I worked with Mary for years at the company I work at, the Wholesale Chinese Herb Company. She was one of our customers and we talked regularly, sometimes weekly. And then she went and retired on me. So after she retired, I called and checked in because I missed talking to her. So I called her, and I never told her what I was going through while we were working together, just because we were both busy and I didn't want to do that. I felt that was unprofessional. So when she retired, I let her know what I was going through. This was the beginning of October. I talked to her and I told her what I had been dealing with and how I was getting worked up, because every time I had to go for these scans, I would get so worked up and be afraid that the cancer was going to be here. And I was always looking for something that would help to make it right in my mind, that I didn't have to think that, did the cancer come back? And I'm so scared to go for these scans. And when I explained all of this to Mary, she said, I wished I would have known this. I have a product that I would like to talk to you about. That afternoon, her and her partner, Ara, were in my office, and we were talking about Lifewave and the patches and how they helped her, how they helped both of them, and how it helped all these different people. They were just telling me all these different stories. I immediately said, I'm on board. I want to use these. I want to just have a peace of mind. And that was my whole reason of starting to use Lifewave, is to give myself the peace of mind.
And then what happened in November? Let's just get to that. That's
so
the big one.
I started using them October 13th. That was my son's birthday. November 6th, I'm sitting on my couch watching television, and all of a sudden I realize I have no pain in that spot where there was always pain. And I start pushing on my stomach, and I look at my husband and I said, I have no pain in my belly. He's like, what? I said, yeah, there's no pain. And I said, do you think it's from the patches? And he said, no, you haven't been using them long enough. So I immediately texted Mary and Ara, and I said, do you think it's too soon? And then Mary said, absolutely not. This could happen overnight for some people. Sometimes it takes people several months. You just never know. Everybody's different. I said, well, I have no pain. And I've had pain since April of 2019, and it's gone.
What happened to your son? Because I know he had a node on his neck, right?
Yes. So my son is a baseball player, and he's using the X39, X49, and he's seeing more results with playing baseball, hitting the ball harder, having more stamina in the gym, sleeping better. So he's seeing things, but he had a swollen lymph node that he developed when he was 9 years old. It was after he had a flu, and it was hard, but it always stayed the same. And his doctor checks it. We're responsible that way. But he started using the Eon on his lymph node. It's right here. And it's gone from the size, it was between the size of a nickel and a quarter, and now it's about the size of a dime. It was always very hard and he couldn't move it. It was stationary, and now he can move it. It's softer. And like I said, it's about the size of a dime now. So he's going to continue using that.
That's awesome. Wow. Great results for both you and your son. I mean, just in a few months, pain
Yes.
that you've had for 4 years, completely gone in 1 month.
Yes.
I mean, that's incredible. And your son with his node that's shrinking, that's so hopeful, because people have these kind of conditions, and to hear this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.